ungakhohlwa ukuthi umgcokwa, ungakhohlwa ukuthi ubalekile, futhi ungakhohlwa ukuthi uyathandwa ngobe kutabe kucale kuphikwe ukuthi wena udithanze kucala khona labanye batawubona ukuthi cha lo muntu lona uyatinakekela utokhona kufundzisa nalabanye ngekuphila lokahle. Angubingelele mbukeli ehlelweni lakho Tandla Nenkhondlo lokubingelela unfortunate Mabuza. Mbukeli ehlelweni lakho Tandla Nenkhondlo sihlale sikulethela abosonkhondlo kanye nalabo labendawo na umsebenzi weTandla. Namuhla embukeli ehlelweni sinabo sonkhondlo lababili lokungigcaya umkhaphelwane kanye naye Celicolo batosicocela ngembukeli ukuthi bafika njani ekubeni bosonkhondlo baphinze basihayele tinkhondlo lengicabanga mbukeli ukuthi utajabulela futhi kuningi lotofundza kito. Sitawucala ngaye ke mbukeli Celicolo simelane lotasichazela ukuthi who is Celicolo, ufika njani kahle kahle Celicolo ekubeni ngusonkhondlo.
For I believe simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. This I am going to put to you in the simplest recitation. You need not utter a single word to captivate my attention. For you, I believe, have the power to foresee all of my intentions. In the crook of your neck, I long my head to bury. Reminisce in the alluring scent of your skin, a blast of berries. Till I am intoxicated, my sight goes blurry, and my heart retires in a fit of slumber so merry. If anything, I long for you to fist my hair, just as the furious tornado swells the trees, that my heart's content surpasses the serenity of the creeks, and feel the warmth of your breath caressing me in a heavenly breeze.
Celicolo, welcome to the show. Who is Celicolo?
Thank you so much, Fortunate, for having me. Well, Celicolo is a young Eswatini man who was found by poetry. I wouldn't say poetry, I discovered poetry, no, but poetry found me because young Kanza, at a time in my life where I was in a very dark corner, but through poetry I managed to rise above all of those adversities.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you mind telling us about that dark corner le poetry?
Well, it was really the tides of growing up, the challenges that you encounter. The more you grow up, we are born prepared for. Timo njenge transition mina bengifundza emakhaya primary school, then I had to transition from the rural areas to the urban areas. Now I'm in urban school. The life is fast, everything is happening so fast, and there is a lot that is happening nasekhaya. There were challenges there that I was facing because I had to move from my mom, so it was a very bit of a difficult setup ekhaya.
But you managed,
I managed through writing. So I would turn to those blank pages with the pen in hand, all of those feelings. My poetry started raw. I had no inspiration from anybody. It was just something that happened out of the blue, and I managed to save my life.
So it started as like a diary.
Exactly. Precisely.
But what I'm writing is poetry.
Exactly, because and everything, but after some time, you know, I can change these paragraphs into stanzas and infuse these poetic devices into it, then basic pumalok because in literature being
okay. Celicolo is a poet.
I discovered 2015 I Form 3 at that time. With the help of my English teacher, Miss Twala at Hillside High School. What happened was I was doing this, reciting, or in fact I was reading out one of my poems to the class during her lesson. Ganze utofika late a class, and then I had to be punished. What's the following week on the Wednesday chapel, I'll have to recite the poem in front of the whole school, and that's how it started.
Okay, you saw your reciting bigobando.
Yo, during the performance, my first ever performance, I was overwhelmed by emotion, because of the poem and my nerves and everything. So I managed. Even today, people tell me that that was a killer performance. It was a killer debut performance because I surprised everybody.
Okay.
I even surprised myself. I was moved to tears. Yeah. It was great. It was great, really.
Okay. So we are performer, everybody's happy, now we are happy. What was your next step?
The next step was really, I didn't have big plans about my poetry, but it was only when I started composing poetry in Eswatini la khona ngase sengiqala ke udraw le attention ye audience ngabona ukuthi the audience resonates well with the native language, because we're all about the entertainment, and as an artist or a performer you need to interact with your audience, understand them and know what they want and deliver it to them. So ngase ke sengiperforma Nenkhondlo desiswati ngise high school, ngahamba kuma meetings, cinema workshops, cinema seminars, ngi-performer for dignitaries in the country with my Siswati teacher. Ngaqala lapho ke kuphuma outside of the bounds of Hillside High School with my poetry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But ekhaya they happy noma sebevungaza uthi hayi isodwa uqala inyalo asalele emuva when it comes to schoolwork?
Well, my mom had some misgivings about my poetry at first. Bese ngihamba kakhulu khanze ukuthi ngihamba 3 to 4 days a week esikoleni angikho. Ngiya kulama meetings lawo at hotels performing. Vele bekumnandi. But fortunately for me, I've always been sharp at classing, yabo. So noma ngabe bekuthiwa angi-attend for those 4 days, I'm going to catch up, and each time I would rise on top. I'd come out on top at classing, and that's when my mom became my #1 supporter, from the one person Lubeka worried the most about my poetry. Even today, she still supports it.
Okay, so you say Guti Wakala 2015.
2015, yes.
People were happy, right?
Yes.
So what are the achievements? Long I should you know what? As a poet, these are the achievements since 2015.
Since 2015.
Yes.
Okay. I can say, even being here today, that is another milestone for me. Actually, it's a first. But since then, I have so many accolades from high school, awards, academic and non-academic. I also managed to start earning a living as young as the age of 16.
Wow,
because
that's nice.
Because seminars lawa, get noticed by people in places, well-connected people who knew people in places. So what would happen was I would end up getting paid. Benkala at 16, I check of about 2,500.
That is a lot at the age of 16.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with the money, but with my mom's help, I was able to use it wisely for my school. And since then, ngaphasa with flying colors, being enhanced kakhulu in poetry, kuma studies, English language and literature. I set a record at high school that even today nobody has managed to break. Ngangena at tertiary, ngise William Pitcher. In fact, sengicedzile benginda khona, specialize in English and Siswati.
Okay.
So nakhona it helped me a lot. Ngithe nakufika kuma instances where I have to teach, go for micro teaching or peer teaching, I would teach literature and I would specialize in poetry because it's what I do best, and I would get the best marks. And nyalo, I have the feeling I'm going to graduate top of my class because of the poetry. So it's not just something lengenda on the side. It's something that I live. It's my life.
Okay. Since you are living poetry, you are poetry, where do you see yourself? Let's say 6 months, because you are living poetry.
Yeah, I am living poetry.
Yes.
Since ngicedzile esikoleni, I wasn't able to stage many performances. But now that I can worry less about my academics, I do have the time and energy now to focus fully on my poetry. I have a poetry page on Facebook. Lapho khona nje I'm uploading every once in a while. Sometimes I go live, and that really is encouraging. The feedback that I get from followers and fans, it's really encouraging. But most of all, I am more of an author than a performer. That's something that I discovered about myself at tertiary. Because I discovered, because my style of writing mostly goes well with an analytic audience than an audience that requires entertainment.
Okay.
So, kakulu, I would love at some point, though within time frame about 6 months, to write a book, publish a poetry anthology, my poems army, esiswati angene tikoleni afundwe esingisi ngo-publish even for international audiences. Before you formed me, you knew me. Before I was born, you consecrated me. Dear Lord, the Creator, I considered myself a child. You upheld me. You appointed me a prophet to the nations. I praise myself, for you it was who did fashion my inward parts, my innermost self. I will praise you, for you do fill me with, oh, wonderful you are. Oh, wonderful is your work. You knit me together in my mother's womb. You know me through and through. My body is no mystery to you. You did see my limbs unformed in the womb. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, my Creator. Oh Lord, my Savior. I will praise you, oh Lord, with all of my heart. Boldly, O God, will I sing psalms to you.
You said ukuthi you nakhuza timfo takho letinye kubo Facebook, social media. Are you ucela uxolo kubo Facebook when we go to check your poetry?
Well, I'm not Celu Uxolo. I go by Simelson, the poet. But as soon as you look up Celu Uxolo Sai Saluleko Simelane on Facebook, you get to see my page and everything. I do tag my page on a lot of my posts, and I'm even on TikTok, Simelson_Sai. I am available on Instagram as Saluleko Celu Uxolo. So that is how I can be found and reached on my social media platforms.
Okay. Emakhaya ke khona Celu Uxolo nabala besabako they are thinking ukuthi what they are doing is just ukubhala diary yabo kanti they are poets. What is it that you can say give?
Well, what I can say is, you know, by bathi ngesiswati le kufa albiki. So you never know when that moment for you to bloom is going to come. Every single opportunity that you get, no matter kuthiwa audience labangakanani, if you feel that you are a performer, take whatever you have written and put it out there. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and not everyone is going to give you a positive feedback. Sure. Because I mean, poetry is emotional. It goes well with some people, while at the same time it steps on other people's toes. Some people are going to say so many things that are going to be discouraging for you, but it's the perseverance that counts, because the fact is not everybody likes what you're doing, and not everybody does not like what you are doing. People love poetry. People want a voice from somebody who's going to speak on their behalf, because at the crack of dawn, at the prime hour, I rise to the highest of towers to acclaim His power. Ngiwaphethe ngesandla ayangiphakamisa lamandla, angifaka umdlandla wekumbonga somandla, ngibonga somandla. Ngabona kuthi akungisebenteli kumela eceleni, ngase ngingena endleleni letawu ngisinzisa ekufeni, ingiholele ekuphileni, ngibonga somandla. Kimi uluphawu lwekuphelela, kimi unesihawu ngiyaphephela, kimi uluphawu lwekuphelela, uluphawu lweluthando lwangempela, ngibonga somandla. Ngiyadewela tihosha ngobe wangiphakamisa ngisishosha, wathi kuhlala kumosha leyami impilo, maye ngiyambonga somandla. At the crack of dawn, at the prime hour, I rise to the highest of towers to acclaim His power. Ngiwaphethe ngesandla ayangiphakamisa lamandla, angifaka umdlandla wekumbonga somandla, ngibonga somandla maye ngibonga somandla.
Wahaya kwavakala ke mbukeli Celicolo losichazela ukuthi who is Celicolo ngiyathi mbukeli ukuthi nawe lobo solubhala ucabanga ukuthi you are writing a diary kani lokulokwentako Nenkhondlo sothi akukhona kuphumela ebaleni bakubone usende phela mbukeli nakuwo ema social media uhaye bakubone ngoba nawe solubhala ubeka lapha angeke wathi ukuthi lokulokwentako kungiko noma akusiko. Asichubene nalohlelo wembukeli sitawuya kuye Gqayi umkhaphelwane lo tawuchaza kahle ukuthi uthi ngogqayi ngebunjani nganami ngiyadibutha uthi Gqayi umkhaphelwane asichubene nalohlelo mbukeli.
Nanikhuluma ngaGqayi kusuke nikhuluma ngaNkosibona wakandla ngamandla udume ngela Gqayi.
Okay.
Umkhaphelwane lo nganagama ngoba bekude bekatamgama. Kodwa ke ngumkhaphelwane lo nelibito ngoba bekakhona bekatangibito.
Okay.
Bathi ke ngingigcayi umkhaphelwane ngingqumfantini ziyamnyekenya ngomfundo siyabheka sinamehlo. Ngingoda ngomsila kaSathane. Umvili lo ngasabuka ngemehlo sobuka ngamaflowers. Ibangele lehamba yodwa jwile itini ibangele lithamba ngamahongo. Cha betu lebhawilo limahlikihliki. Logeleta umfula libutho libanza bovana. Ngane limehlo manqane babuka ihlathu yafa. Qhamuka khona ke mina.
Sawuvela ungihayele nje.
Sengichazile.
Sicala nje.
Sengichazile.
Okay, ufika kanjani ke Gqayi ekubeni ngisonkhodlo?
Luqala luhambo lokuba ngisonkhodlo ngilicala nangilapha esikoleni lesiphakeme sasengwane Park kaManzini.
Okay.
I-culture day ngalomnye umnyaka ngathi 2011. Nga form 4. I-culture day ngibona lelinye lija liya recite lapha e-stage. Ngihawukile ngithi hayi man I can do better than this guy. So kwathi eminyakeni lolandzelako kule culture day hayi ngabhalisa nami ngotishela ukuthi hayi khona ngifuna ukukwenta. Banginika ke leyo platform cha ngakwenta.
Uyabatshela yini ukuthi ufuna wendani noma uchamuka nje sochamuka nesurprise?
Ngiyabatshela ukuthi ngifuna kwendani kodwa ngibatsheli kona mbamba ukuthi ngifuna kwenda inkondlo noma ngifuna kwenda tibo.
Oh, okay.
Lifike ke ilanga cha banginike stage. Ngibabise nje impela. Ngibabise nje impela abangidumise cha. Siyabonga mfana wami kuhle ichubeka. Kwanginika imandla ke lokho ke mina ukuthi hayi show lento vele bengifuna kuyenda ngikhonile kuyenda. Ngalo mnyaka futhi kwafika isikhathi lapho khona bekuta inkosi itovula sikolo ngalokho semthethweni. Phinze bangibita bathi endla ngamandla khole sakubona usendela kona ngeculture day. Nyabe ungakhona yini kuphinze usendele kona. Ngangenda tibonga tenkosi Mswati esithathu. Banginika ke lelo thuba nobe kungasilula kodwa nje hayi cha
Wa make sure.
Nga make sure ukuthi hayi ngiyalithatha leli thuba lelingavami nekuvela. Ngalithatha lathatheka. Ngayicala lapho ke ngagijima naye ngaze ngathi ufika la sengikhona khona la. Wate waqhamanza abakithi akangwane wate waqhamanza abakithi emhlolo. Mbulungwane nangu lo mbulungwane. Mbulungwane insaba insaba. Buhle bakho mbulungwane abunamkhawulo. Ingane nobukhulu bakho abunasiphetho. Mbulungwane nangu lo mbulungwane. Labeta kuwe mbulungwane sebeta baqhuba. Baqhamuka tingalo tonke etilive laseshiselweni. Baqhamuka khona iyo rehani ngani ngisehlangano. Baye baqhamuke kahlathi baphinze baqhamuke khona esihlutsi. Bonke uyabahlanganisa mbulungwane ngani uyabahlanganisa insaba insaba. Wetheleni embulungwane. So memeni insaba insaba. Ingane kunebuhihihi kithi kangwane. Labanye bathu wethwele tinkuni. Labanye baphinze bathu wethwele inguzanguza ilitshe. Ingane wamethwala somhlola bayela zwide kalanga. Waye wamendlalela licase ensabeni kushaka umsibekeli. Vele bantu nabhojoza kwadla ngemandla. Wase uyagwaza amagwaza yanusa eJerusalem bayiba ngumuntu lokhanyako. Bantu abakho bomthamba mana mavuka ukuthi bathele ngemzaca bagola tikhoda dongana. Wakhile machawe lahlabeni kithi kangwane. Ngisho maweni kanye nagelani. Ingane umlolodeli walala eshane kubakashabango. Phansi kumthambama. Ingane nabheki no problem khona naye somlanzile. Ngiyakwesaba mbulungwane ngani sengiyakwesaba nzaba. Somhlolo umendlela licase ensabeni kushaka. Waye wamgitsisa inqwala kamfishane. Lavundla amantu wamphakela kudla. Nangu naswide sekangena kumahamba. Tayitasha davutsa insaba nakhona tinganamlilo. Saphela sive semaswati. Ngwekazi naphangosi babalekile bayibashiya live. wase uyagcama mbulungane ngani wase uyagcama Ntsaba Insaba lishile live langqonqa waye wakhala somhlolo ingani kwaba mhlophe ethi khosa emhlosheni wase uyayiphunga ingade ephunga legazi yemaswati gijimani ngato tonke indlela ningibetele themba masuku eshiselweni ate ubiyela nangibhulungane Insaba emihlolo imandla akho ubucotho bakho kanye nebuchawe bakho awunamhawulo ngiyakwesaba mbulungane ngiyakwesaba Ntsaba Insaba ingani usimeme wena ufana neNtsaba yaseSiyoni yona lete nani ngiyakadiswa ngiyakwesaba mbulungane ngiyakwesaba Ntsaba Insaba ngiyabasita labafikile ngoba leyo mile iya emthonjeni bayangishayela labanye bathi hayi manje yathi siyayithanza indlela lo haya ngayo ngoba esikhathi esiningi vele ngimcine kakhulu ngala kuma praises bathi siyayithanza indlela lo haya ngayo sicela usisite ngibasite and ngimbone lo muntu akhula nayo lento ngibona ukuthi wo lo muntu vele lento bekayifisa uyithethe ngetandla dotimbili kodwa ke ngithi ke mina kuhle ukucala ekhaya labaningi nje ngibasitile abantu basenzaweni lengihlala nabo la kungikhane ke ngiphumela ngephandle ngiyositela abanye labangephandle.
Okay, wena ke naku yabasita, what is it that you gain as a poet?
Little Bible kuphendvuka kwesono lesodwa kuba inhloko emazulwini lokusita lo muntu ngive ngathi ngimsitile ekuzuzeni umphefumulo wakhe indlela thiteni khona lamagama lesifike siwafake la kuye nayo umkhandlo sekathi kick phela neakhe lamanye lokhanze kusekasita nami ngihledi lapha ngikhumbula lihlobo ngikhumbula imvula tihlahla tati nothotshela tshani buhlumelela etulu emanti ageleta lokungapheli emacembe ehlahla amajikololo kodwa timbali tati bukhathikhathi mbali yami mbali yakabo mbali leSwati mbali yakangwane umlibalo yembili ulithemba lempilo uyincolobane yemagugu akusasa ngumzabula dlamu enhlitiyo yami ulukhozi etinyonini uyingwe etilwaneni wendlula mithi etihlahleni inkosatana yelive ngiyatichenya ngawe ithemba lami ngiyatichenya ngawe ithemba lakethu qhakaza ke mbali qhakaza uye uhlande emathanga iminenge timungane netinyosi kokubhekile kodwa khula kuhle kwembali khula emanyeveni ukhumbule ukuthi ibumbali bakho buyashabalala khula ungajake umdzaka litulu lingakani butse kabuphangwa ntombi yakethu butse kabupheli lalela ke mntana make angisena ukuphinza titawuthi kuphuma diphume imbunga bese uyatsinza uyasinza ulidle libhadlela uyibambe indlela uthi kuthotha uthotetele phela intombi yeliswati yenta njalo akusenjalo thela emaguma uvunule unothe ugace umgaco ulungise umjijimba indlamu iye ivale sibaya sababi uyishaye imfengwane timbila tidlwe tikhotsa kumdzimba ulikhalise lifahlabane ugiye emajaku langadeleli khula uzithe ube njengalozitha ukhanyise ube njengalangeni bese uyanza uba njengaludzeluthe cha ngiyala ngiyaphikisa mina nentombi yakabo wangabi wamahala njengamahala dula ungapheleli eteni njengaseteni ngoba utabalusizi njengandlunganye wendlule ugobane ube njengalogoba tinda uhlale ube semhlaleni uyilese impilo njengesobhuza clinic ube injabulo eveni njengamavuso trade center bonke abantu bakulangadelele njengamanzini mbali yami mbali yakabo siyimbali yamaswati siqhakazile sidawe inqoba iCovid-19.
What are you planning msebenzi wakho lo wendako because ubhala nangelulwimi lweSiswati?
Lebe ngisakuhlela ukuthi Nenkhondlo tagcayi ti publish tincwadi letifundziswako etikolweni sisebenzisane nema publishers la khona Eswatini kunelilanga nje lamhla ka-21 kuFebruary njalo ngeminyaka kuyaye kugujwe lilanga lelulwimi lemtsapho la khona ukhanze ukuthi labashicileli baletincwadi basikhuthada nathi simapoets ukuthi buyisana umsebenzi wenu sitobhala phasi buyisana umsebenzi wenu sitobhala phasi futhi siyanijabulela ukuthi bakhona kuSonkonzo Eswatini laba solo bavela akugcinanga njengebantu labadzala labafaka igazi kubo besala yedwa magagula. Uyabona ukuthi nabo kufuna bathi bahamba bayishiye emva kithi. So nje sazama kona nje ukuthi inkondlo tami nami dibhalwe phasi difundiswe etikolweni. Ngoba kuye kube mnandi nasova bayihlatiya inkondlo leti ekolweni ukuthi hayi sonkondlo abethu kungangale ukuthi hawu konke lokhu kusho ngisonkondlo. Manje ke nathi dakujabulela ukuthi ukhaza ukuthi ngalinyelanga nje kufundwa inkondlo yakhe icayo ngikhafelwane.
Okay. So Cayi ungathini ke nginangisonkondlo losekhaya? Lo uhlale kasho athi hayi mina ngingibani the poet but akwadiwa lutho ngaye as a poet.
Ngingathi kudinga ukuthi asukume phansi. Asukume phansi afune lwadi. Afune lwadi athi angabhala azame ngayo indlela ukuthi nasekabhalile ke le content la ibhalile uyoyinika abani ne reaction yaleyo audience leyo uyayoyibona ukuthi oh le content yami I reach kangakanani ngokuthi nje asukume futhi ke nyalo sesiphila esikhatsini lapho khona i-technology seyiphakeme khona nakakhulu uyati recorder nje u-upload kubo YouTube upload kubo Facebook so uyafika kubantu uhamba ngemoya ngaphandle ukuthi uye uvo physical. Mina ngiyifundwa mina ngumthombo welwadi. Labanye bathi ngisikhalise impumelelo. Angigcini lapho ngomgwabla ngcondo ngumhlahlandlela. Sibane lesiletha kukhanya yeseveni. Mina ngiyifundwa mina ngumthombo welwadi. Maye kangikhethi ngifana nendubuleshane emkhwekazi. Ngifundisa lomncane ngifundise lomdzala. Ngifundisa lompofu ngifundise logcebile. Ngifundisa labansundu ngifundise labamhlophe. Kangikhethi ukuthi ungibane uqhamukaphi. Lofuna mina utakimi kodwa kangitholakali kalula. Lofuna mina ulala benye unadzele bumnanzi ngoba mina sengifuna sonke isikhathi sakhe. Mina ngiyifundwa mina ngumthombo welwadi. Labanye ngibakhwebile kodwa bala kutakimi. Ingalaba mvisisanga kahle Robert Mgabeni akathi how can we convince the upcoming generation that education is the key to success when we are surrounded by poor graduates and rich criminals? Baphila umhla basemva kwetinsimbi basematilongweni. Labanye bangibambile phinze bangiyekela. Lamhla sebagone emajikwane langanathi bongo bakhala lethi mathonsi bayalila angimangali nemvula ingasani lamhla inganomhlabathi umandi inyembe ditabo nabaya emashibhini nabaya etipotini badududa ngejwala badududa ngeligwayi bakhwehliwe ukuthi cigarette makers don't smoke. Mina ngimfundo mina ngumthombo welwadi laba bambe mina bakemuki nemandi ke chabawelele ngishe ungani bamva kahle nisimandila nakathi no country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Mina ngimfundo mina ngumthombo welwadi uyangithatha noma cha.
Bahaya kwevakala mbukeli bosonkondlo bethu kwaba mnanzi kwathi chu baze bangicugcudeleke nambukeli ukuthi yabona ngitsiniwe mina ukuthi ngidawuvele ngithi namhla kunasonkondlo longibani sengidawuphumele ebaleni nami ngihaye mbukeli sesifike baphethelweni alo lihlelo ngiyati ukuthi kuningi lokufunzile futhi ulijabulele lihlelo sidabonana evikini elitako ngaso isikhathi lesifanako. Goodbye and God bless.
I set thy heart free, just as the sharp-shooting shear shed off the ocean on the Gulf shrill, so shall I be the delectable nectar that connects your adrenaline uphill.